Hi everyone, this is AlphaAli. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's alright. So today I'm doing a Bronze 2 VOD review of Drax. Drax, I think we've done 2 VOD reviews before in the previous time. He is a Junkrat main, but obviously, we did one initially on Esperanza where we said a lot about getting into that support mine style. This time is, I think, I can't remember last time. Last time it was a lot about positional bits and stuff like that. And yeah, we're our third VOD review, so we're going to see if Drax has got a little bit better and stuff like that this time. So we're looking at the comp that we have. It's not a great Mercy comp, I'm going to be honest. And the reason is because you have Sombra, who I think Sombra and Tracer are two of like the least amount of people that you're wanting to blue beam. We have Junk, who's like really good for like spam damage and stuff like that. So he's like okay, but I wouldn't like properly go in and play Mercy just purely for that. Obviously, we have Ramattra. I think Ramattra is really, really good to damage boost, especially if it's in Nemesis form and, getting people and stuff. And obviously, Honor and Mercy works really, really well. So I think you would have to kind of like spend the majority of your time with whoever is being aggressive. So obviously, it seems like you're blue beaming your Junk, which is a really, really good decision. Especially during like this first like narrow corridor at the beginning. I feel as though his like spam damage can really catch people out quite well. So it looks like they have a ball. Obviously, you won't notice they had a ball or anything. Lovely damage boost and healing on this Ramattra though. Lovely GA across. Because you have this ball, you basically want to kind of play like a little bit further. I think you might be able to play a little bit further back than what you are at that time. And the reason is because if the ball slams someone, he will want to slab like one individual person. So if you try like make it so you play as far back from that slams if you can, it stops him from getting ult charge and it also stops him from like, maybe killing you and stuff. A lovely damage boost on this Ramattra so far. He does end up going in a little bit. What you can do here to reposition yourself is, because you're like over here, you can use this Honor and GA like around here, and there is still one set that's open here, and you can maybe help him from like here, but he has gone in very aggressively without you guys, so it's all good if he does end up dying here. Obviously, you don't just like risk your life in order like to go and help, Remember, there's still like other options and stuff, and also your Honor. Honor is great for long distance healing and stuff. So what should happen is like your Honor should be able to heal. Your other two DPS are kind of like out there, so you can like kind of like sit and damage boost her if needed. And obviously, you are kind of like going in a little bit. I would have maybe done the thing of like going around, because then you're able like to beam him from here, because the beams do reach this far. You'd have to like hug this wall a lot and do it there, because you'd be in like a little bit like a safer spot. You do kind of waste your GA there on like a GA that I don't think you really need to. You just need to back out there. I'd flick the damage boost on there. So as soon as he gets into that Ramattra form and he's being healed up by the Honor quite a bit, stick the damage boost on, right? Because your Honor's got nothing else to do here. So it's just, she'll heal the Ramattra. You stick the damage boost on. Awesome. You can play offense like this room a little bit more if needed, and like jiggle peek it like this. Just to kind of like position a little bit better, but still really, really good. Remember, don't abandon your Honor here. You've just seen this ball roll past, and ball wants to like get rid of the Honor. So I think instead of like GAing in here, I would have just kind of stayed where you are on this wall, because you can still reach, and just make sure you kind of like look back and look at your Honor if needed. We're gonna see what happens. Lovely helping, and see, you did the right thing there of healing back, doing that. That's awesome. So overall, your beam priority and general stuff is really, really good. I'd avoid standing out in the open like you are here. Just once again, because of spam damage from like the hands or like the Ash or something, you might be able to catch like a stray shot. Say if it like bypasses the Ramattra, it could hit you. So I'd play off a little bit more towards the side here. But your damage boost and like healing beams are really, really good right now. Lovely. Lovely peel here. See what happens here. Alright, just to protect yourself, that's all good. Whenever people are on fire like this and they're not being focused, don't just default to your blue beam here. You can still damage boost them. Like here, for example, even though your Ramattra's on fire, he's not like in a critical state, and he's not in a he's not got anything that's gonna like really kill him like instantly, right? So you can just put that blue beam on him. When people are burning like that. Love the heal on your Honor though. Same thing again, I'd try and like attach that blue beam a little bit more. Leave your Ana to heal this. Although she already has Nano, it's still a great like thing to get you know, a thing to get used to is just letting your Ana heal your tanks when they're like low HP like that, because Nano is such a better ultimate than Valk. But we'll keep going. So nice. Same thing where you kind of like still stood out in the open like this. If you want to be helping here, you can play around here where you are, right? Because it means you can help your Ana, you've completely blocked the LOS of all these people, and also if that Zen peaks, you just walk behind here, right? But we'll keep going. I try and like cross now, but obviously you know, okay, this is all a bit of a mess. Okay. I don't think there's really anything you could have really done better here, to be honest. Like, you did the right thing, because essentially you still know this Zen is behind, and unfortunately nobody's just focusing him. I don't know whether a ping might have helped or anything like that, and then obviously your Junkrat just stands still for whatever reason and just dies. Your Marcher's obviously gone in like really, really full, and obviously you get mined off. I think if you were able to, I could have, you've used Nano, I don't know. I think you could have honestly done anything different there, unless if you popped your Valk, which I don't know, like, would have been worth it or not, specifically as well because your Ana dies here. But, and they've used a lot of ults as well. But, I didn't know he was there. I knew the tank was behind me. Yeah, so, I think you should have, like, known that the Zen was there, just purely because he peaks so often and stuff. But, it's all good. Same thing with this, hug the wall here. Just because if you're standing here, they can easily get shots on you like the soldier is. Just play around here. Still damage boost your junk. Or like play on this wall and stuff. Although it's probably better if you hug the other wall. Obviously your Junkrat goes in. Very nice blue beam on him. Overall quite a solid fight. As soon as a Sombra hacks someone, by the way, Sombra gets like a buff to like her damage and stuff like that. So stick a blue beam on her, and it'd be able like to focus this ball and be able to get him like a little bit lower. Because once again, you know this ball's here, you've heard him, you've seen him roll past you, and you can hear when the Sombra hacks someone. So you can just go and quickly flick a blue beam onto it, which is kind of like what you're doing right now. I'd honestly stay back here and work on trying to get this ball right, because you have two people that are very that work well with up close damage, and they're here up close to a ball. So what you kind of like want to do here is you want to like stay back, damage boost these people to try and eliminate this ball instead of like going in with your Junkrat here, because the reasoning is the whole team as well is still respawning, so you're going forward and damaging your junk here is not going to do anything for your team. So you just like want to stay back and help, maybe try and get the ball. Obviously you might not be able to get him, but he'll at least make you back off. You should be the one to push cart here as well. You know, it's not like you're getting really close to the end and you're like really like, oh my gosh, we need to like, you know, be close there. You should honestly just stick back, wait for your tank or one of your DPS to push it, because you're putting yourself like, you're basically like, kind of putting yourself into a frontline scenario once the respawns get back. Which yeah, I think you kind of like realize you're in this bad position now. Your Ana just got yourself into like a really bad position there. But it's the same thing. You're peeking this window like way too much. Play off these pillars, right? I think the best pillar for you to play here is this one, because you can help the junk. You could kind of peek it a little bit like this in order to help your Marcher. Obviously, if he ends up like going in a little bit more, I'd recommend kind of flipping over to this pillar. And also with your Ana, I believe your Ana can escape through here, and you know that she's going to be quite weak because obviously she ended up in a bad position. So you can go back, help her, and then obviously go back if you need to. You're just playing very like out in the open right now. You're playing it a lot better though now. Like once you kind of like realize you were taking those shots, like receiving those shots, you played it very well. I'd Valk here. The reason is because you should be able to hear this this Moira DPS in you. You can just Valk, and then what's it called? Go over here and play around here. Very much out of the way for any of these people, and also it'll stop you from getting hit by this Moira. But we'll see. Yeah. You're holding on to your Valk quite a bit here. I'll keep on playing because obviously you'll respawn in a sec. You're holding on to your Valk a lot here, which you don't need to. I think they're also, because your team is very much like, your whole team's there, they're pushing in very, very nicely. I'd pop the Valk there, just help them out and position yourself really nicely out of the way. But it's all good. Obviously they're coming back. You do want to do what you're doing here, which is essentially just what's it called, Dora's the Moira's behind me. Be sure to have like your volume like turned up. Like what I like to do is I like to turn down the music volume and sort of like the extra volume that you don't need. Turn it right down, just so you can like have the game sound as like your main priority in like hearing wise and stuff. And then obviously it depends on like headset to headset as well. Like if you're playing like with like a really like cheap headset, sometimes the sounds can be a bit off. But it's overall just kind of like, I feel as though as well it comes a lot with like knowledge of the game and stuff. Like if you see your health bar depleting like that, it kind of comes with knowledge of like, oh, it's a, you know, yeah, you should when you take damage, the screen kind of turns a bit more like red around like the sides and stuff. So what's it called? You can kind of like tell when you're taking damage a little bit more. And you can also look at the health bar. Like I usually like to take like a glance every like couple of seconds at like kind of where like my health bar is at and stuff like that, as well as especially if like I'm in a team fight and everything. Lovely backwards GA. The same thing, I'd like keep a very nice Valk. I'd keep a blue beam on him. Same thing, once people are like a little bit more up, what's it called? I know when, because obviously people are still like quite up in like health and stuff like that here, I'd stick the blue beam onto them. And use your Valk like to stay out of the way. Because at the start of your Valk you did it really nice, like staying out of the way and everyone. But yeah. Oh, I sped it up. I'm so sorry. There you go. Ooh, okay. Because I was just about to comment on the soldier coming for you, right? And the tracer coming. So I think there's just an unfortunate like bit of like reaction time difference, where it's a bit like you started resin as the pulse that was already laid down. But also I think your general positioning here was a bit off, especially because what's it called? You know the soldier's gonna be coming with his visor. Normally the soldiers have visor, they'll get really, really aggressive and just come in. As soon as he like peeks this corner for you, you're dead if you're stood out in this open, right? So I think it all kind of, what's it called, all comes down to you playing off to the side, like playing this pillar with your life weaver here, and then kind of wait for this tracer to use his pulse if he wants to, or obviously like try and like wait for his like recall or to be into low HP and then go for the res. But I think as well, I think it was like a bit of like a reaction time thing there of like he laid down the pulse and it was like, oh my gosh, you know. But we'll see where this kind of like plays out. But yeah, here you want to be damage boosting your Junkrat, because if he's doing spam damage like this, one of those damage boosted like junk nades, if someone isn't full HP, can literally kill them. So you want to be kind of like damage boosting that there. So who do we have? We still have your life weaver left, which is good that you like try to like get in like to help him and stuff. Very, very nice helping him there. But then you let your Junkrat die because of it, right? As soon as the life weaver, because you kind of like put your beam on him and then he dashed out, right? This dash out, because he's not being focused by anyone, you could just leave him, because after a couple of like seconds his health will regen, right? So instead you want to be looking at this team fight, you know this Junkrat's gone in, you want to be with your Junkrat now instead and helping your Junkrat, because I'd say probably your Junkrat is your main blue beam target in this kind of like suboptimal Mercy comp. I wouldn't have gone for the res there. Just purely because, once again, it's very out, like, you're essentially doing a res entire, like, throughout, you know, with your team in front of you. Like, I feel as though at this point, it's kind of like a bit of a back off. You have to, like, back off with your life weaver, back off to your archer, because there's going to be no way that you're going to get the res off in that scenario. We use tree, okay. We get to the platform, which is good. EMP. EMP is a great time to focus on the damage boost. Obviously, we go in with your Ramatra. I feel like you're playing a bit too close to him here. Like, I would have GA'd in and then just, like, played round this corner here, like I said. Because you could kind of like, peek him round and then just, like, you have that 1.3 seconds to keep your beam on. So play around here. But it's all good. Because you put yourself in a very bad scenario here and then you end up dying because of it. But it's all good. See what happens now. In fact, I'll fast forward a bit to when you're back. So we've read the marchers we've got back because the team's backed off. Fair enough. Very nice focus on this damage boost on the ramp. You should have GA'd over here. You don't need to. If you wanted to kind of reposition, I think you're peeking this one, weren't you, right? Or maybe like this one. Yeah, it was this one, right? There's no need for you to GA over here. So you can literally just, what's it called? You can just sit here, damage boost from here, and then if you need to reposition yourself, just literally just kind of like walk over here and have your beam on or something and GA like through and around here to help more like around here. But yeah. Nice healing. I think you should know the I hope you know the, what's it called, your soldiers behind here, right? Because it's like you saw him like peeking it and then he kind of like just left, right? So I think, I don't know, let me just replay this whole entire thing. So I kind of like lost my train of thought. All right, so this is the GA I don't like. So you kind of like just decide to GA across when you don't need to. Literally stay here, go back and around. Right, we just have to stay here, which is all good. Lovely heal on here. We stay where we are because of the pulse, which is great. Okay, let's talk about what we do here. So, yeah, I think you should know this soldier is here and 1 HP and stuff like that, which I think is coming down to like your awareness and your like kind of like noise and stuff like that with Mercy. Like it feels like there's at some points where it just doesn't feel like you're listening and aware. Yeah, but you should be able to hear him though, that's the issue. Or you should like be able to know he's there. But I think it comes down to like an awareness kind of issue. So we go in, this should be a damage boost beam here. And the reasoning is because what's it called? He's like full HP, stick a damage boost on him. You get boot forward, that's all good. Still following him, same thing, it should be a damage boost. But then I'd cut off here. The reasoning is because you don't need to keep LOS on him all the time because obviously he's ult sending and stuff like that. And it quickly cuts off the LOS of these two behind you, right? Even though you don't know the soldiers behind you, you still know that ball is behind you. Because, what's it called? Oh, this is my beam because it's my primary fire. But primary fire doesn't mean the one that you're meant to use the most. Because with Mercy, it's actually her secondary fire, which is her blue beam, right? So, and obviously I know you're on controller at this point. And I know you've currently just switched to PC, Drax. So, a good thing that I've heard like a lot of Mercies do, there's like 2 ways you can do it. You can either have it, so I believe it if you keep like there's one where essentially it keeps, what's it called, the mouse, like you keep the bindings the same, except the blue beam overrides the heal beam. And there's a second one, which I believe is like the Skieski method, which is where you actually flip the two like keys entirely. So you have your blue beam as like your primary one. Not PC yet. Yeah, no, but you've bought the PC recently, haven't you, Drax? And you said you wanted to move over to PC. And I think that's probably the best method for you. If you want to improve at the game, I think switching to PC now would help you so much more. Because you're on a Switch now currently, aren't you, Drax? So I think playing, like, what's it called? Playing on the PC will actually help you out a lot more than just carrying on and just, you know, continuously trying to play on the Switch one. Alright? Oh, actually, you do end up getting picked off by the soldier as well. Which you kind of like, it feels like it all comes to coming off a little bit more. So I believe, Drax, your kind of like main issues, because at the beginning, your blue beam management was amazing at the beginning, but it's kind of just like dropped off a little bit, like towards like this middle part of the VOD. Be sure to kind of keep that in mind throughout the entire match. And my second thing is like your awareness, which I think half comes to like sound awareness, but half also comes to general awareness of like the game and stuff. But lovely damage boost here. I like this one. Same thing, it's like you're playing very out in the open. I would have GA'd across to play over to the side if you like wanted to. But nice. Lovely application of the blue beam onto the junk. I'd Valk here. And the reason is because you can play like back safe but also help out your team. But I'm going to see what you do. Yeah, so you would be able to get to your team like a lot better and a lot easier here, and also you'd be able to assist them a lot more. But I would have Valked there personally to help everyone out. Okay, same thing. You're not using this cover again. It's like you stood out in the open, and as soon as that soldier gets his visor, you're dead. You need to be playing these sides still, like jiggle peeking these sides in order to help out. Still using like as much cover as you can, because it's kind of like you're just walking forward. I feel as though if you Valk, your Valk would still be up here, and you could like play your Valk like around this like cover here, or you can like even play like over here, like over these like barriers and stuff, and like, you know, flick your blue beam on. If the soldier starts shooting you, you just drop down, back over and stuff like that. All right. Which I feel as though would have been a lot better if you use your Valk. I feel as though with your Valk, especially with your team and what you have, like it's not like you have your Valk in order to like pair with anyone or be able to enable anyone any better, because you're kind of playing Mercy in a very like suboptimal Mercy comp here. So your Valk you just want to use in this scenario very, very like selfishly, and use it to position yourself with better beams in order to help your team out. But it's all good. I'm gonna see what happens here. Fortunately, can't get in for the res, which is okay. Lovely GA out. The same thing, you use that GA out and you stood out in the open way too much again. You can reach people once again from this side here if needed. And then I was like, do like backwards GAs in and out when needed. Because at the moment, once again, you stood out in the open. You have your Life Weaver here to pocket your Ramatra. So you could just keep the blue beam on him here. And then you kind of just GA into the soldier. Like, you know this soldier's still alive, especially if you're keeping track of, like, the kill feed and stuff like that. So I'd still, like, be playing, like, as far back as I can. If I see the soldier has killed him, which you kind of, like, did, you kind of, like, GA'd and then just, like, stopped. I would have done a GA, like, into this room, and I think you would have had time to res him, like, round where you were, and then you have two people to focus, alright? But it's all good. Your Ramatra uses ults when everyone's like dead, but it's okay. But I'll fast forward a little bit here. You're doing a lot better here. This is what I meant by jiggle peeking that side. Nice GA, sorry, nice Valk in order to help people engage. I would have gone for that res basically as soon as you pop that Valk, right? Because what would happen is you would have GA, like you used your Valk, you still have all the safety of the, what's it called, the robot. Go in, res it, and then make sure you have some weight in order to get out after that res. It's kind of like you hesitate for like a few seconds thinking, oh, should I, shouldn't I? If you're using that Valk in order to get that res off, then 100% just go straight in with it. Once again, you should know that soldier's behind you. Just purely by like the sounds and stuff like that. But nice healing onto the Life Weaver though. You should still know that the soldier's still behind you, because he's been behind you for this entire thing. We'll just see what you do for this end bit. Still playing back. I love how you're playing out of the way of him now, which is great. I'm hoping you know he's behind after the amount that he's been shooting you from behind and stuff. Very nice healing on your Ram. I'd not back out this side here, because the reason it is because you're not going to have anyone to help with your team, and obviously the team are going to be pushing forward here. I would have gone forward with your Ramatra and played in here, right? Until he decides to go and pass forward and everything. Put a beam on someone, nice. Here, I would have GA'd up, which I'm hoping you might do. It's like GA up and play up here. The reason is because this side blocks the entire LOS of people coming forward, and you can easily pocket your team from up here. It's a lot of like a safer spot than where you are right now, because at the moment you're very much in the center of the point. And yeah, you end up being shot down because of it. If you were up here, if you slingshot yourself up and played up here, it would have been such a, what's it called, better place for you to play. But yeah. See what happens though. Keep it running. Switches to Lucio for the contest, which I like. Very, very good. And I'm guessing they capped it. So overall, Drax, I think it was very good improvement from the last one. Like you're playing at certain points, you're playing cover a lot better. Oh, you won. Oh, okay. They must have seen I did that. I think. But yeah, overall, I think what's it called? I think your positioning is really good. In like certain points, there's other points where you can make it slightly better. I think you just need to be more aware of like your positioning a lot of the time as well. Um, Second thing, it started off really nice. With like the damage boost and healing. It got a little bit towards like the middle and near the end. You weren't damage boosting as much as you were meant to. So I think try to damage boost a little bit more towards the end. Um, and I think it's just some generic like awareness issues. I think is the main one because a lot of the time you aren't realizing someone's behind you, and it purely comes to like sound, and it comes to like also playing the game more. Because I know obviously you're still quite new to the game and everything, so it's still like awareness based stuff and everything. So I think you just have to like listen out a little bit more and also be aware. Have more awareness with DPS and tank. Yeah, because they play a lot like differently. If you get me, and I feel as though Mercy has a very different playstyle to even like the rest of the supports and stuff like that. But what's it called? With Mercy, it requires a lot more like on awareness and knowing where exactly what everything is all the time. But I think if you kind of like work on your positioning a little bit more, like for example with that last team fight, working on playing up on that high ground and playing the covers a little bit more and keeping your ears like open as well and like still be like constantly like thinking, okay, who died, who's going to be where, and everything like that. But overall, Drax, it was a huge improvement from the last one though, which I really like. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this like little VOD. Once again, I do them on my Twitch channel for 10,000 channel points. You literally need to stay and you can just like lurk, or you're more than welcome to come and chat to my lovely community over there. And I will upload them to YouTube afterwards. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye.